I'd like to welcome everybody to the November 3rd, 2025 council meeting. We're looking to go in closed session pursuant to 143, 318, 11A3 to consult with the attorney employed or retained by the public body in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege between the attorney and the public body, which privilege is hereby acknowledged, and pursuant to 143, 318, 11A6 to consider the qualifications, competence, performance, character, fitness, condition of appointment, or condition of initial employment of an individual public officer or employee or prospective public officer or employee, or to hear or to investigate a complaint, charge, grievance by or against any public officer or employee. Do I have a motion to go in closed session?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, closed session. Do I have a motion to come out of closed session?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Welcome everybody out to the meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just thank you. Again, thank you all for coming out to the November 3rd, 2025 meeting. Does any member of council have a conflict of interest or the appearance of a conflict of interest in regards to any item on the agenda? If so, please state at this time. Mr. Corbett?
No.
Mr. Nairn?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, everybody's good. Let's move on. Approval of draft agenda. Does anybody have anything that needs to be changed or added?
No, sir, not here.
All right. If not, do I have a motion to approve the draft agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Action, discussion resulting from closed session. Mr. Grady, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. During closed session, it was resolved that a new contract was offered to Ms. Anglin, and she accepted the terms of that contract. That was the action taken in closed session, along with updates on other litigation, on pending litigation and threatened litigation. That's it.
All right. Grady, you want to leave? You're welcome to.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Give you 1 second, then we'll have general council discussion. Does any member of council have anything about? Okay, let's start here. Give Grady just a minute, sir, and then you can go.
Thanks, Grady.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Go ahead, Mr. Nairn.
Couple things. Tomorrow's election day. When I checked 2 days ago, there were already 400 and some people had voted. I'd like to be able to triple that number. Get out and vote for the candidate of your choice. Very important. That's one of the rights we have here in the United States. The other thing is I want to thank all of the volunteers on the town boards, Board of Adjustment, Planning Board, Tree Board. Okay.
Planning board.
Environmental.
Planning board.
Thanks, y'all.
Any other member of council got anything?
I do.
Go ahead.
Just remind everybody that November 11th is Veterans Day. Committee on American Veterans and the town of Sunset Beach will be co-hosting a Veterans Day ceremony at the town park at the Veterans Memorial at 1 p.m. The weather forecast is 57 degrees, so wear jackets, but bring a chair with you. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, we'll be moving on now to our public comments on agenda items only. Anyone would like to speak, you speak up, please state your name, your address, and you have 3 minutes. I'll start the timer here. It's 3 minutes. At the end of 3 minutes, I'll try to have you finish up, but if you're going, I will give you a notation to please tie it up so we can move on forward. If anybody would like to step up and speak, they're welcome to now.
Good evening. Mary Jo Kennedy, 613 Millsley Lane. As Mr. Hart stated, tomorrow is election day, and I would urge council to refrain from taking any action on any agenda items tonight. In about 24 hours, we are going to have a new council. That council deserves the right to shape the decisions. Acting now will undermine the voice of the voters who will have spoken by the time, by tomorrow night. Please allow this new council to begin to work with integrity and transparency that our town is so deserving of. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on the agenda item? Go ahead, sir.
Ignacio Marino, 802 Riverside Drive. as Mr. Nern noted, tomorrow is election day. I think that this council needs to think long and hard about making any decisions on this proposal that you just brought up about an extension to Ms. Anglin. With all due respect, the new council has, I think, the right to be able to make that decision. As outgoing members, I think it smells of backdoor dealing. It goes against every principle of fairness, and you need to think long and hard about that. Let the new council decide if Ms. Anglin is worthy of the position and the extension of the contract. The new council will vote in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else on public comment? Yes, sir. I mean, on agenda, I'm sorry.
Bob Tone, 9030 Sea Lane, Sunset Beach. And this is regarding the parking. I noticed in the summer of 2025, there was no parking on Main Street at all. Everything seemed to go okay. I didn't hear any negativity or see anything about it. Didn't seem to cause an uproar at meetings, so why not just leave it as it is, as it was in 2025? And coming up with 200 more parking spaces is just asking for 200 more cars and 400 more people to come onto the beach. When do we say no more? Okay. And also, it's creating the parking on Main Street is also creating a serious safety issue with the renters, pedestrians, and bicyclists. People backing up out of the driveways are being obstructed of seeing oncoming traffic, pedestrian, and bike, which may cause traffic accidents, right? And in 3.24B in the UDO, it says all driveway entrances and other openings onto the street in the town planning jurisdiction spaces be constructed so that vehicles can enter and exit without posing any substantial danger to themselves, pedestrians, or vehicles traveling in the abutting street. From listening to a former agenda comments, someone after looking at it for the season said the main parking in front of the stores was completely full only 6 days out of the year, right? And those were mostly weekends and holidays. And as observed, the town does not seem to be concerned with the safety of its visitors. Right? In Sunset Beach, the distance is 5 feet from the driveway of parking. Right? Parking. Many on Main Street do not meet this ordinance, making them illegal and should be ticketed as so. This parking on Main Street seems to be done strictly for money. Right? Safety is not being is a concern. And that's all it is.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else on agenda item?
Good evening, Mayor and Councilman. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. My name is Jim Memory. Some of you may know me and some may not. I did file to run for
Can you give
council.
your address, please?
Oh,
sir?
I'm sorry. 257 Arnett Drive. I did file to run for council. It was a personal decision for me not to. And in fact, if the filing period had been shorter, meaning say Labor Day instead of that, I probably would not have done it. But I didn't want to take away from that. But let's get back to the agenda. There's some agenda items on here that quite frankly, as the gentleman said, could be a little smelly fishy. I'm not going to point them out. I will say the parking that you guys did is an absolute disaster. And that's speaking nicely. You know, we could have went to the junior high and got them to draw them out and probably might have been a little bit better. But in a couple of days, tomorrow we're going to have a new council. You guys did your best. And quite honestly, there's a lot of people who think your best is not good enough and that you should refer these items, agenda items, to the new council. I being one of them. So I asked you, you know, do you really want your legacy tonight to be that I'm power hungry and I'm going to do this to show you I can? Or do you want to be gentlemen and walk out of here with your head held up and say, you know, I did the best I can and I'm going to turn it over to the new people? That is y'all's choice. And I hope you'll make the right choice because, you know, these people are looking at you, trying to figure out, you know, have you been transparent? I think there's been a lot of non-transparency in this council. So, you know, let's be transparent tonight, and let's be good stewards of what you were elected to do, and let's turn this over to this new council, whomever that may be, and let them make decisions. And, you know, hey, maybe you want to be a little tutor to them and talk to them and say, here's what I thought, and let them talk with you. Have an open mind and open heart. Thank you.
Anyone else on agenda items only?
Surf's up. Thanks, everybody. My name is Richard Dysinger, 704 Fairway Drive East. I'm a member of the planning board, and I'm also a candidate for council. I respectfully disagree with the previous comments. You guys were elected for a 4-year term, not 3 years and 10 months. The people on this board did the work, studied the issue, and have come up with a parking plan. If you're going to amend it for 2026, I suggest you do it. And if a new administration wants to change it, let them do it as an administrative act that can be compared to what's done today. Second, the land use plan, which is the other issue that's coming up today, and that is near and dear to my heart as a planning board member. That is crucial in terms of really getting to understand what the sentiment of the entire community is, not just those that are vocal on social media. And God bless them, they feel passionately about what they want for the future of this area. But a land use plan in 2017 contrasted deeply to some of the sentiments today. I say this again and again, 40% of the people in that survey wanted a hotel. 90% wanted more restaurants. These are the things that we need to learn in 2026 with a land use plan that I hope you'll adopt today. Last but not least, this council, and there are going to be people in this audience that disagree with some of the actions that you've taken, has set a standard of civility that is in sharp contrast to what this town had to endure 10, 15 years ago. Whoever is elected next, I hope they will sustain that tradition and continue to govern amongst, yes, differing opinions, but we are all neighbors here at the end of the day. And we should treat each other like neighbors even when we disagree, and hopefully we'll have a council next that will continue the tradition of civility that you established. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else on agenda items only? All right. If not, last call. Moving on to the consent agenda, the 2025-10-6 draft minutes, 2025 October the 6th draft minutes, monthly reports, building inspection, finance, fire, police, public works. Does anybody have any questions in regards to any of this on the council?
I do not.
Nothing? I do not either.
All right, if Amy's in the back, if she will, Miss Amy, if you can hear me, please come out just for 1 second and let you discuss your deal right quick, please. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Goodrich, the events coordinator for the town. I just wanted to invite everyone to a new event that we're going to be hosting. It's going to be our holiday tree lighting, and that will be on Friday, November 28th, the day after Thanksgiving, at 5 p.m. in the town park. And also, we will be having our holiday market the next day, Saturday, November 29th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're partnering with Plausibility for this. And just like we did last year, we added a charitable element to the celebrations. Last year, we were able to fill a U-Haul truck with coats and toys for the kids up in Western North Carolina from the hurricane and bring it up there and deliver it to them. This year, like I said, we're partnering with Plausibility. So we're asking, they've let us know that dog and cat food is something that they're always struggling with in their rescue efforts. So if anyone's interested in donating for that, we'll have a box out front here at the town hall, and we'll also be collecting at both of those events.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
All right, consent agenda is in front of you. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any member of staff that does not have anything left on our agenda tonight is welcome to go home. Thank you. Town Administrator report, Ms. Anglin, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few things for you tonight. I want to thank everybody who participated with the public input meeting for the 904 corridor study. The digital public input meeting remains active and the link is on the website. Please encourage your friends and neighbors to complete the survey and provide comments to the consultants that are working with the town on that. We are also planning to host another public input meeting in early December, and more information and the date of that meeting will be available soon. I would like to say thank you to Kathy Jones and the Island Garden Club members that partnered with the town to add plantings to the new beds at the intersections of 8th Street and Canal Drive and 11th Street and Canal Drive on the island. We hope to be adding more beds in the coming months. Amy covered all of the events, and there are no events planned for the town park in December. For our current projects, the Jinks Creek Realignment Project, Coastal Protection Engineering is in the process of gathering data needed for the modeling and the survey work in advance of the scope of meetings with the agencies to determine if the project is permissible. The contractor is nearing the end of Main Street on the north side for the vehicle parking spaces for the Main Street parking project. The contractor will soon be moving to the Ocean's front side to install the low-speed vehicle parking spaces. For Catchment 7, the contractor is working at 6th Street and Canal Drive, moving towards Main Street. Once they reach Main Street, they will continue along Main Street down to 4th Street. Both of these projects are on track to be completed by the December 12th deadline. For the Majestic Oaks Park, the design has been finalized and is on the website. The tree board is finalizing the landscaping plan, and the engineer is preparing to submit applications for the stormwater and CAMA permits. While we will be waiting on both of those permits for 45 to 75 days, the engineers will be working on bid documents and construction plans. We hope to go out for bids in February or March of 2026. And lastly, as always, that I close out my town administrator report with, I am continuing to block off every Thursday afternoon from 1 to 3 p.m. to meet with the public, and I encourage anyone with questions, concerns, or comments to come and meet with me.
Any member of council got any questions for Ms. Anglin?
I have a question. On
Go ahead.
Catchment 7, is that one of the last projects for the stormwater program that we put into effect a number of years back? Or there's still a couple other things to do?
There's a couple other little ones, but it's the biggest one.
Okay.
And we've actually been working on that one for about 4 years now,
Yeah.
with DOT and engineers and everything to make sure that it's done correctly.
Yeah. That'd be something the next council can work on, is to
Update
the next stormwater plan.
plan.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, if there's nothing else, we'll be moving to old business. 2026 paid parking program. Councilman Hardgraves, this is your baby. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. As you remember, last month, we had Jim Varner here for the town council meeting. He presented us for the first time with our 2025 Sunset Beach parking summary and overview. Certainly, to my surprise, and Jim reminded us that he had predicted at the start of 2025 beach season, the profit to the town would be approximately $300,000. The actual total now through October is $465,926 that we have collected through paid parking. It's $465,926. AutoConnect's report also included, besides a breakdown of parking revenues we just talked about, citation reports and his thoughts regarding planning for the 2026 beach season. Jim also asked council to make decisions during the November meeting on 3 issues for the 2026 beach season. The first one, should there be any changes to paid parking? Second, should there be any changes to the parking season? Both of those. Third, does the town want AutoConnect to continue parking enforcement during the off-season months, November of 2025 through March of 2026? Now, let me just mention, some people just talked about here the idea of putting what we're going to talk about and move on in a few minutes, put it up to the new council, or give to the new council. I feel like one of our speakers said that it's not a proper action for any governing body to put off what they should be deciding during their term of office. I don't like, and some people call it kicking the can down the road and leaving our work for someone else. I feel strongly that the council does not have the right to abdicate its responsibilities before December 1. That's what we were elected by the citizens of Sunset Beach to do. Therefore, my job representing the town of Sunset Beach is not over. We have the obligation, when necessary, to make decisions, and this is one of those times. Now, however, to those who spoke of not making decision, these decisions on paid parking are certainly, and remember this, are not cast in stone. We have started over and over again, we've stated over and over again, that both the parking plan and the paid parking plan are dynamic documents that should be updated when needed, at least annually, but when needed. The new council in December certainly has the right to modify what we decide here today, this evening, or accept what we decide here this evening. We can't change what the new council is going to do on December 1st, but we can certainly tell them through our decisions tonight of what we think is best for the future. Now, we were asked by Jim Varner to make these decisions just like he's asked Oak Island, Ocean Isle, and Holden Beach. Make the decision, please, he said, before December 1st. The reason for that is he wants to have his programming updated before December 1st. And this might be profitable to us, is what we've discussed. His goal in all the islands he works with is to begin selling property owner season parking passes and season parking passes to the general public on December 1st to take advantage of the holiday season. That was a new one to me. And I said to him, does it work? And he said, it does. Now, we weren't ready last year to take advantage of this, but we are this year, and we should be this year. Will it work? How good will it work? I cannot predict that, but it's something probably we should try. Don't think the decisions we make tonight are the end of the world. They are certainly not. They can probably and will be adjusted in the future. Remember, these plans that we have before us, parking and paid parking, are dynamic, and we've said this over and over and over again to people that call me and people that want to ask, can we change anything? We can, we should, and we should in the future. Okay, now let's take a minute and look at the issues that Jim wanted us to look at. During the last council meeting, when Jim made his presentation, he recommended that our parking fees remain the same for 2026 season, for the 2026 season. At this time, as he stated, only Oak Island is making an adjustment for the yearly pass for visitors. During the month, I have talked to council members to determine what are the changes that they are interested in addressing in this meeting. In verbal discussions with you, I'm talking to the council now, we believe that there are two areas of our fee structure that may be open to change. The first one, length of season. Should the town leave the parking season as it currently stands, that's ending in October 31st, or should we shorten the season to end on September 30th, 2026? Nobody has debated beginning the season on April 1st. Nobody has questioned that. Nobody has wondered about that. It's when we should end the season. Should it be September 30th, or as we did this year, October 31st? As you think through this change, we believe it is important to know the amount of money that paid parking has brought in during October. Was it successful or was it not? I spent a lot of time on the island, as people know, and I didn't think it was too successful as I observed this year. But the figures are just final yet, like today. For October, we made $20,625. $20,625 for October. At this time, no other beach community has made a change in the length of their parking season. We may be the only ones, but that's the decision that we have to make. If we shorten our season, will we find the month of October to be busier on Sunset Beach because anyone may park for free? Common sense says to some extent, yes, but we won't know that unless we try the experiment of shortening the season or just say, no, we're not going to do that. Certainly in October, kids are in school. Them and many of their families aren't going to be, people are working. And so their families probably won't be here too much during the October time. But weekends tend to be our busiest time. And we have in October numerous festivals that tend to draw crowds. Would more people come to our beach in October? With more people coming to the beach, would that help our local businesses on the island to be more profitable? I have talked to one business owner, and he says it may help, but we all don't know. So that's some of the reasons. You have the idea of the money that was made in October. You have the idea of some of the other thoughts regarding the number of families that may come to the beach or may not come to the beach in October. If it is free, could it help our businesses? Maybe. And where do we go from here? So I want to give this back to the mayor now at this point. We need to have council now think about this, make a motion, and have some further discussion if needed. Mr. Mayor, it's all yours.
Anyone got anything else?
The mayor's in. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Charlie.
I've been involved with the parking plan, and a lot of people are saying it's no good. They're going to do away with paid parking and tear everything that's been put in and out. When you look at the budget, there's 600 and some thousand that we brought in. Certainly adds to the budget. Residents of Sunset Beach been asked to pay $25 to register their car, and then every time they park on the island, it's free. So it doesn't affect the residents as much as it does visitors. We pay a lot of money for upkeep on the beach. Police, Beach Patrol, Public Works, you name it. And it's time that some of our visitors pay their share of that. It shouldn't be all on our taxpayers. On the disposition of directives, last meeting, I suggested we could take the registration fee down to $10. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. If we make it $10, the town will get none of that. So it's up to us to decide that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jerry, you want to say it?
Listen to I'm not opposed to paid parking, obviously, or the current fees for non-residents. I thought we were discussing getting 2 registered vehicles for $25 per household. I thought that was part of the discussion. So
Well, right now, we're looking at the season.
just the season.
Just
If
the
it's-
season first.
The season, I do not have a problem with the season, as it's stated right now.
As it is now.
Yeah, I do not have a problem with it.
I thought for our first attempt at parking, especially with not having all of Main Street finished yet, the length of this season has worked fine. I think it would be something to be worth of reevaluating this time next year after we've gotten all our parking places in and we've gotten some of the little kinks in the system worked out. But I think the April 1st to October 31st is satisfactory.
Michael?
I'm a little bit contrary to you because I think that, and Mike laughs because we always are fighting about it. I think September 30th is fine. This would work fine. I mean, $20,000 for goodwill for our people, for people to come in here, I think is cheap. I mean, we've got tourists that come in here and whatnot. Let's get them experience. The other thing is that if we do September 30th, and I think I mentioned it in an email to somebody, that maybe we should just make September 30th and give Labor Day a free day, since we repay all the people that work for a living. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
I have one other thing. All this talk about the parking plan being unsafe. Think back 2 years ago and tell me that was safe. You were here 2 years ago, it was the zoo parking. People blocking mailboxes, driveways, parking on fire hydrants, too close to the intersection. The paid parking for the delineating the parking places will change all that. So it's going to be much safer. That's it.
Now it's my turn, right?
Oh, you go.
Your turn, sir.
My turn. My turn. Well, most of you know I didn't agree with paid parking to begin with, but this council foreseen it and we've got into it. They've spent a bunch of money out there and they've designated parking, which now we have places marked for people, which is good. The problem I have tonight is the person that is over this parking is not here for these meetings. So if there's any questions coming up, he can't answer them. And I myself have a couple of questions about things, but he's not here to answer it. And as a business owner being his platform, I would think that he should be here to answer the questions before we go into anything. But going back to Mike, just a couple of little things. The businesses, most businesses, everybody pretty much knows, close from November up till basically Easter. So we can't say it's going to help business whether it's extended or not, because it's over with the business season. Other thing is, or one of the other things is, biggest thing I've heard from the whole time we've been discussing this parking, which has been an ongoing thing, what I've always heard is it's all about the safety. That's what we push. You know, I think everybody on this council and everybody on the thing, that is the main goal of our summers, is to be safely. Thank God we've had safe with our police and our beach things. We've had a lot of safety on our beach, and thank God for that. But as far as the safety here with the parking, that's what we always talked about. But yet every council meeting, it always seems about the money, the money, the money, the money, the money. That is not the main thing here. Our main thing is the safety. I mean, the Citizens 25, it was a trial this year. I understand that completely. You know, our outside skirts towns, basically Calabash, I'm talking about Calabash, Ash, Little River, not really Little River because they South Carolina, but Calabash, Carolina Shores, Ash, a lot of those citizens have reached out to me. They feel like this is their, you know, their beach that they come to. And I understand that because my grandfather's place was outside in ETJ. I understand it. It was my beach. I understand they're not taxpayers in this town. I agree with that 100%. But what I would like to put out here, but yet Mr. Otto Man is not here to answer this, is if we done something like, say, and I'm just throwing out this because I have no vote. Everybody knows that. I have no vote. But I do have the ear of the citizens that are speaking to me on different things. Just for consideration. The citizens, instead of the fee period, 0. Free to taxpaying citizens. The Brunswick County, which is these people outside of us here, offer them a $100 pass. $100 a year. I mean, they come 6 times, it's paid for. If they don't, they don't. Think about how many $25 passes we had, and Mr. Otto discussed this when he was here last time, that never even got used. But this is $100 to offset what our citizens shouldn't be paying to begin with, because at the end of the day, the taxpayer monies is what went out here and marked all these things off and what continues for the upkeep that we face in it. Time period, 9 to 5 every day. I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand it because it's set up now and we have spent this money and we've got to be something feasible for us. As far as the time period, Memorial Day to Labor Day. Memorial Day, July the 4th, and Labor Day should be free to all people who come. We don't guarantee a parking place, but what we have is out there, because those days are 3 days in our country that our country states this. This is family days. This is be together. We are a family beach. We were oriented on being a family beach. What better way to state that to our people and all the visitors here is we're here. No, we can't guarantee you a parking place, but if you come and pull in and park, enjoy your time with your family today, whether it's your grandparents, whether it's your grandkids, or whatever. That's something to consider. Business passes. These business people that's out here on this island, we've tried to work with it this year. It's been hard. I mean, a lot of these businesses that spoke to me haven't had a good season. Sometimes it rains on the weekends, sometimes it don't. But all in all is they don't have the normal people coming every day that's going to spend that $5 here, that $10 here. There's a lot of people that probably couldn't afford the $20. That $20 kept their kids from going over here and getting ice cream or getting some drinks or spending money on the pier or wherever. But the thing is, we at the end of the day are still a small family beach. Yes, people love to come here. Each one of us up here came here because we fell in love with this town. Anything we can do to promote it in a safe way is what I thought this thing was about. But now I hear it's all about the money, and that should not be what it's all about. I just challenge you guys tonight to make good decisions for the future of this town. I would like to see you table it to Mr. Otto could come in here and answer anything to do with the citizens, how this would affect us, with them being free, and as far as this county pass. Like I said, at the end of the day, if we've got 500 parking places, when they're full, they're full. We're not guaranteed a place to park, but we're giving a little bit of common sense to our people out here saying, hey, we still want you to come here. We want you to spend money in our town, and we want you to come here and keep it safe. And just something for y'all to put out there. Whatever you do tonight is what you're going to do. But I just challenge you to think about these things as we go forward for our town. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I want to thank you for emphasizing safety. When the committee the parking committee worked for that year, one of the biggest things that were mentioned in many of the meetings, most of the meetings, had to do with safety, and that's what it all began with. When you talk about driveways being blocked, when you talk about parking on private property, when you talk about blocking mailboxes, when you talk about no sight lines coming out of driveways, that all except for the mailboxes deals with safety. And that was one thing the committee did over and over again, was talked on how to alleviate those problems. The parking plan did alleviate those problems, has alleviated those problems. And we've heard from people on parking streets saying things have been different this year as far as safety is concerned. And you're right, we should not ever, ever take our focus off of that safety, and I appreciate you saying that. Secondly, businesses, our businesses on the island. I did a survey before the businesses, or before paid parking really began in the beginning of the summer, with each business, talked to each business owner. They were nervous. They were nervous about the parking, what it would cause, would it be good or would it be bad? What I had also done is I had talked to Oak Island, Holden Beach, and talked to them about their businesses. And I never talked to a business there, but I talked to government officials who assured me that their businesses, they did business and never came to them with complaints and they were not suffering. That's all I can tell you. But I then went back in the middle of the year and talked to all our businesses. And each of them but one said business was up for this year, up from this year. Now, I have only gone back to one business that I talked about earlier. At the end of the season, I plan to go back to the rest next week, hopefully, but get an idea on the bottom line as far as where they were at the end of the season. And I should report that here, obviously, for you and for the other people. So the big thing is safety, and I appreciate that. Now, what do we want to do with the season now? If you want to make a decision on this season. And I do like some of your ideas here. Those are good ideas. They're one-off ideas, but I like them.
Mike,
Yes, sir.
considering we've got the seasons, we're talking about cost per car and residents, non-residents, Brunswick County. And I know that Auto Direct would like to have answers by December 1st. However, if I'm not mistaken, and I've looked kind of carefully, he works for us. Okay, we don't work for him.
Please, y'all.
So therefore, having him wait another 30 days or more to come up with the things, fine. As far as he's saying, I want to publish this in December 1st for Christmas things, come on. Let's face it, it's more important than just worrying about whether somebody's going to get a parking pass for Christmas. I mean, normally I would push.
Crowd, please.
Normally I would push this to go through because this is the console we have. However, and if Auto Direct was here, I think I would certainly ask him those questions about what we have. But I don't see us pushing this through just because of that. I really don't. He's not here. What can I say?
Just one comment on that one. The bottom line is we've hired a parking company to help us through this paid parking. And their job is to give us recommendations. Our job is to make the decisions moving forward. He knows that. We've talked like that from the beginning, that it's very important that he listens to us when it comes to decision making that we have to do. And that's why he's asking us to make these decisions moving forward. So, I'll give it back to you. Okay,
So,
John,
go ahead, John.
As I said, I don't have any problems with the April 1st to October 31st. I think your ideas to have a free parking day on Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day is good, and it doesn't particularly hurt us much. It goes to it. I do want to point out, so that would be an easy change to make. When we're talking about the Sunset Beach residents paying a fee, what Otto reported to us, it cost about $10 per car for him to go through the registration. So if we did something like rather than the town absorbing the cost of each citizen registering, if the pay for the cost to register was $10 per car, and that money just went to Otto to cover that fee and not into the town and not affect the 70-30 split, that would be a option to consider to go in there. But definitely something less than the $25 per car. When we throw about talking about money, it wasn't a decision that began with, let's see how much money we can make out of parking. It's let's improve the parking. And as we went down the path of doing that, one of the things we discovered that NCDOT really did not appreciate that we were parking for free on their right-of-ways or their easements for the last 30 or 40 years. And we had this parking plan coming into place, and so they laid down the criteria for how each space would be designated, and that's what's happening out there. There's a big cost to that. However, keep in mind, the parking fees that have been paid this year are pretty much going to cover that by the beginning of the next summer. So it's not has not been, it will not be a burden on the Sunset Beach taxpayer that's paying for getting the infrastructure done to do the parking. And that will be paying returns as they go through the years. If we turn and take September and make it free, and brings the people in, you know, a lot of our people go to the beaches, but they don't necessarily use the restaurants. They might not spend too much time in the gift shops that we have along the beach. But we do still end up paying the majority of the cost to take care of the visitors who come to our beaches. So this just kind of balances out. So these are all things to be considered. Whether we decide that tonight or decide that when I leave the council next month, that doesn't matter to me either way. Just keep all of these factors in mind as we go through the process.
And I would add to that just that these ideas that you brought up today, Mayor, which I think are very interesting ideas. For example, you know, the free parking on certain days. That's something I would say, because that's not something I had planned here or worked with Jim Varner on. That's something that a new council could certainly address. Those decisions can be made very easily by a new council and work with Jim to make that happen. I don't have any problems with the new ideas we've heard tonight, but that would be something to work with Jim on in the future. And I would encourage you to do so. I would encourage you to do so. So, what do you want to say about now the season? John has just mentioned October through October.
No, April to October.
April, October. Anything?
No, in light of the comments here, I'm going to suggest to the board that we just hold off for 30 days or the next town council to this to be addressed. It's not going to kill us by delaying it 30 days. And Mayor, you did make some good comments about things that we can do and enhance the program. So I'm in favor of right this second delaying our decision for 30 days.
And what would that bring about in your estimation now?
Well, one, to incorporate what the mayor said, and then of course that I know I have some questions with AutoConnect that I would like to have addressed, and they're not here as well. So again, that's my second reason they're not present. So
okay,
again, I'm going to like to have it tabled.
Okay.
I would just challenge that whoever is on the new council, recognizing this would happen in December, they need to do a lot of homework between now and the December meeting to know what they're talking about when it comes to the parking plan, the cost, the implications, and how it works. Other than that, having Otto here, do we know if Otto's available?
He might be. He was out for family stuff for this
Can I
week.
make a comment?
Yes,
If
sir.
everybody who likes to talk to each other out in the audience like to come up here and sit and talk to your friends, that's fine. But we have a hard time hearing what's being said when the feedback's coming from the audience. Okay? Go ahead.
So let me just mention then the second thing. Let me just mention the second thing so everybody will know that. The second thing that Otto needs, and he needs this regarding it, it was already been mentioned out here, that what should be the fee for our taxpayer citizens when they register a vehicle. It has been $25 for one, $50 for two, and a maximum of 2 cars this past year. Should it come down? Should it remain the same? I've heard the $10 mentioned a couple times. The other thing that I've asked Jim Varner if he could do you do like $12.50 per car instead of saying like $25 for 2 cars? Can you do $12.50 per car? And he said, we can certainly do that. We could do $10 per vehicle. So he's pretty open on what we want. We just have to tell him what we want for the future as far as passes for our visitors, yearly passes for our visitors, and yearly passes for our taxpaying citizens. So that was certainly.
Is this a decision?
There's one other issue that needs to be done. If, regardless of whether we shorten the season or keep the season the same, it's one of the things that Otto brought up last month was a willingness for a price for him to manage parking tickets and violations during the off season. And you've had a discussion with Chief Claimer
Yes.
about that?
The third thing we were going to mention is Jim Berner had said to us, should we continue doing parking work on the off season? Should we continue code enforcement with parking on the off season? And he was talking from the dates from October 31st to the end of March, and where we would not be, his people would not be here dealing with parking issues. And what I did was I talked to Chief Claimer about this, and he very quickly said the parking enforcement on the island during the off season should be done by our police department. It should be done on a regular basis every day. Traffic should be monitored. Ordinances on the island should be enforced. And even to the point where we should put a vehicle, and we should be doing this, I understand we're doing this already, put a vehicle, since we have four-wheel drive trucks now and one truck per shift, we will always put a man or a person on the strand, on the sand, as needed a couple of times a day to make sure that the ordinances are being obeyed. Loose dogs, fishing in the wrong place, all that kind of stuff should be done as long as weather's permitting and daily beach use warrants it. So, Ken, you want to come up and just make a comment on that if you want to?
He wasn't ready for it.
He looks really excited to do this.
Thank you. And I mean that, thank you. We did have a conversation about this, and I think we talked about how much Otto wanted per month to do that.
Otto wanted $2,000 a month.
Yeah, there wouldn't be enough violations to sustain that, in my opinion. It would be upside down. Our police officers are making daily patrols there now. They'll continue to do it through the off season when there is less people on the beach strand. I don't have an objection to one of our pickups making a pass on the beach strand to look for any sort of violations and just make people feel safe that they know we're there. It is not my recommendation at all that we should contract with Otto for those services.
And we agreed to that. And now, what we have to do up here now, thank you, Ken. What we have to do here now is we have to, I think we have to, maybe, do we have to vote on this one, Lisa?
Do nothing, we can table it.
We don't have to vote on this?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so are we all in agreement that that's what we want for the future? We want our police department to pick up?
We can put a directive on at the end, we can put a disposition of directives on there to be discussed at the December meeting, December the 1st, I think it is.
Okay. So I make a motion that we table this discussion until December.
Do I have a second? Any more discussion?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Moving on next, we're going to new business. Fireman's Relief Fund Board reappointment. What is the pleasure of council in regards to this appointment? Go ahead, sir.
Not often that when you open the opportunity for interviews for a particular board that you come up with great candidates. I mean, it is unbelievable that we basically had 5 candidates and every one of them was excellent. However, I think we all agree that the current person who's filling that position of the Fireman's Board is John Cook, should remain in the position he is. Since he's been doing it well, there's no reason to change, and everybody is happy with him. I appreciate the other 4 individuals that came forward. Boy, any one of them could have very well filled the role if John had not reapplied. So I suggest John Cook be.
You making a motion?
I'll make a motion that John Cook be appointed to the Fireman's Relief Board.
Do I have a second?
I'll second
Second.
that.
All right, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Moving on. Next up is our proposed municipal ordinance, Chapter 97, Streets and Sidewalks, Parades and Special Events, Free Ordinance Rules and Regulations. Ms. Anglin, you got this one?
Thank you, Mayor. This comes out of the tree board. This is one of the items for the Tree City USA designation. That application is due the end of December. This ordinance has been reviewed by Attorney Richardson, and the tree board is making a recommendation to the town council to approve this ordinance.
Any member of council got any discussion on this before we see what the pleasure is? Not?
Nothing.
All right, what's the pleasure of council?
I think it's good. It's very well written.
You want to make a motion?
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we approve. I'll get it here.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Adopt the proposed amendment to Chapter 97 by ordinance, including the addition of tree ordinance rules and regulations, subsections 97.71, 97.82.
Seconds on the floor. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on next. Approval of professional services agreement for comprehensive land use plans. Mr. Mr. Oswald, go ahead.
Okay. I don't know if everybody was here or anybody was here for December 14th meeting. We were presented with a contract to retain a consultant for the Sunset Beach land use.
October 14th.
No, it was July 14th.
You said,
I'm sorry, July 14th. Sorry, land use plan update. And at the time, the consulting firm, which was suggested, it was also the one we are using for town consultants on planning. At that point, we decided that we would go out for an RFP, see if there were any additional consulting groups out there that would be interested in how their proposal would compare to all five could compare. Actually, five did come back to us, and we sat down with all five plans, going through them very carefully. What it turned out to be is that they ranged from companies that dealt with a lot of land use plans, but a lot of them are inland. Some only had some beach plans, beach towns. Some had them all over the state. Some had them in other states. What happened was we spread out the contracts, or the proposals, I should say, and shared it to the following people. Actually went through them very carefully. Myself, Stuart Jones, a member of the planning board, Kerry White, our chief building inspector, Dustin Graham, our project supervisor, and Lisa Anglin, our town administrator. Each of us graded the firms separately, and later we all got together to look at the results. Ironically, all five of us graded Anchor Point Planning as the firm which best addressed our needs for the land use plan. Also ironically, each of us had a different number 2. So obviously, we did research all of them very carefully. Therefore, I am proposing that Sunset Beach award the contract to Anchor Point Planning for the land use plan as also.
not to exceed $67,000.
Not to exceed $67,000.
That's how much is in the budget, right?
That's how much is in
that
the
correct?
budget.
Yes.
All right, do I have a second for the motion on the floor?
Second.
Do I have any more discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next up will be our disposition of directives. The 12-1 meeting, we'll look back on this parking information. Hopefully, Mr. Otto will be here to answer any questions. Is anything else that needs to be put on here? If not, our next section is public comments. That's on anything. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name, your address. If anybody would like to speak, you're more than welcome to come up now.
My name's still Jim Memory. I still ride 257 Arnett Drive. I'm just going to make one little remark here. I'm not going to expand on it. I'm just going to take responsibility of something. and the responsibility I'm taking of is an email that circulated. I am the author of that email. With that said, that's it about that. I have sat in all these chairs except for the mayor, and I know it's a tough job. You're not going to please everybody. Some of you made decisions I probably wouldn't. After I stood up here earlier, I just want to tell you that I am pleasantly, and I will use that word pleasantly, surprised that y'all debated the parking thing like gentlemen, presented your cases. Everybody presented a great case, and you did exactly what you should have done. With that said, another thing that I'm pleasantly surprised in is you wasn't in lockstep as usual. You were not in lockstep as usual. That is a compliment. So I will say that. So I can give kudos, but I can knock you a zinger as well. So with that said, kudos to you guys for that. All of you haven't done some things that I think's good. Now I'm going to move on here. And one thing that really troubles me and hurts my heart when I came to this meeting this afternoon is one thing, we opened Pledge of Allegiance. What hurt my heart, we didn't say a prayer. God has not been in this council. God needs to be in this council. When Ocean Isle and Shalot opens, they open with a prayer. I have sat on these boards and I've never, and I can in highly big letters, never been in a board that didn't open it with a prayer. So I hope and pray that the next board will take that action and put God in your heart. So it's not an easy job to do. It's not. And, you know, there's some things like I say didn't do, and there's talk of corruption. I'm not going to say anything about corruption except this. Corruption is like a piece of art. It is in the eyes of the beholder. So when you look at corruption, you think that that's a piece of art, or is that not a piece of art? Is this corruption or not? So it's in the eye of the beholder. I'm not saying anybody of this council member is corrupt, but that's in the eye of the beholder. Thank you, each and every one of you, for your service, and I wish you all the best. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak? Yes, sir.
Bob Tone, 9030 C Lane. Just recently, I found out that a member of your DS, whatever you want to call it, up here, remember that a member of the state government came to his house, and it was the mayor, came to his house about an anonymous complaint and improprieties in his business ethics. This happened about a week before the election. I'm not saying anything about anybody. Mayor, you and I have had our differences in the matter concerning issues in the town, and we talked and discussed these face to face, eyeball to eyeball. We didn't always agree, but we did agree to disagree, right? But we knew how we felt and why. And that is the way what government is supposed to be about. I can only believe the anonymous complaint must have been filed by a binary person, because a real man or woman would own the complaint and do it publicly. I just hope this is not a sign of how this community is going. I hope this is the thing. So I hope you didn't have to go through any kind of everything like that. But that's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else on anything? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
I'm Denise Carlisle, 1006 West Main. Thank you each for the service that you have provided. I want to stand here and say that I believe that you all acted in accordance with what you thought was in the best interest of the town. However, from a perspective of a property owner, there were things that have happened, especially this year, that have been extremely troublesome to me. And I have felt very much disregarded. I have sent emails to various council members and they have not been answered. I have had public records requests that have not been responded to. Kimberly has graciously responded to several, but there are some that are still outstanding. My regret for this council is that when the idea of public parking came to be, that we didn't take a more measured approach. And what I mean by measured is that in my opinion, we got the cart before the horse. I think that looking from where I am today as to where I stood in January, my opinion of the parking plan, and I believe it was even referred to previously in a public forum as an experiment. I think, and this is just my feeling, if we had been more careful in how we presented information, I don't believe that there would have been the division that we see now. And I would just caution going forward that we operate transparently and that we listen to our residents. And I'm so, like the gentleman said, I am so proud of y'all for tabling that whole discussion on the parking for 2026. Thank you, Mr. Podzol, for standing up and suggesting that, because I agree, what's 30 days when you're talking about a whole season? So thank you for doing that. My best to each of you, and just remember that you work for us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I apologize for this, whatever went up. I don't know.
Got it, sir? Okay, I just cut this off. You're good.
Power's
Got you back
off.
on.
Power's off.
All right. Anyone else on anything? Or welcome, come speak. If not, I just want to challenge all the citizens tomorrow. Please come out and vote for whoever you vote for. Please exercise your right. The last few terms at voting and stuff, our numbers have been down. That's a shame, because we definitely have people that care, because we see that as in meetings. We see that on Facebook and stuff. People care. The best way to do that is exercise your right, get out and vote. It's going to be a pretty day tomorrow. We hope we get to see everybody here, and whatever y'all's decision is as a town, is what I hope everybody will respect, and we'll move forward from there. Other than that, thank you all for coming out tonight. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all. Everybody be safe.